Hey everybody, step back in time with me and discover the architectural marvels of ancient fortresses that dot the landscape around the world. Built on imposing heights and rugged terrains, these structures were designed to defend and dominate. Join me, I'm counting down the top 15 most amazing old fortresses, starting with number 15, the Vatican. The Vatican is widely recognized as the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church and the residence of the Pope, also holding the title as the smallest country in the world. Now, historically, the area has emerged as a religious site when Emperor Constantine built a Christian basilica there in the 4th century. Initially a humble part of Rome during the Roman Empire, it featured the Circus of Nero and a necropolis for St. Peter. Throughout the medieval period, though, the Vatican faced numerous security challenges due to frequent invasions and internal conflicts. As the papacy's seat, it did become a focal point for attacks. The need for a robust defense led to significant fortifications, including the construction of the Leonine Wall in the 9th century by Pope Leo IV. This wall, which encircled the Vatican, was equipped with watchtowers and battlements to fend off Saracen raiders and protect the Basilica of St. Peter. Subsequent centuries saw further enhancements to their defenses, such as the building of the Apostolic Palace and the Vatican Library, which were strategically designed to strengthen the area's security. Pope Alexander VI added a secret passage linking the Vatican to Castel Sant'Angelo, providing an escape route for the Pope in case of breach. Established in 1506, the Swiss Guard continues to play a crucial role in safeguarding the Pope and the Vatican, a responsibility they still uphold today. Number 14, the Königstein Fortress in Germany. Königstein Fortress, perched on a hilltop overlooking the Elbe River near Dresden in Germany, dates back to the 13th century when it was first documented as a medieval castle. Standing 240 meters high, it offered an ideal defensive location and initially served as a refuge for the local community during conflicts. Over the centuries, though, the fortress underwent numerous expansions and enhancements to meet the evolving military needs in the region, and the most significant modifications happened in the 16th century under Elector Augustus of Saxony, who fortified the walls and added new buildings to support a larger garrison. Today, visitors can admire the well-preserved Renaissance and Baroque architecture within the complex, including notable structures like the Johannesburg, Georgienberg, and Magdalenenburg. This fortress also featured an advanced water supply system, including a deep well drilled into the rock to ensure a reliable water source. Königstein's strategic location made it a key player in numerous historical conflicts, such as the 30 Years' War and the Napoleonic Wars. It served as a various stronghold for troops, a storage site for supplies, and a refuge for civilians, maintaining its military relevance until the late 19th century, long after many European fortresses had become obsolete. Number 13, Fort Jefferson in the Florida Keys, United States. Fort Jefferson, located in the Dry Tortugas National Park of the Florida Keys, is a significant example of 19th century military architecture. Construction began in 1846 as part of the United States' efforts to strengthen its coastal defenses. It's positioned about 70 miles west of Key West, and its location allowed it to control the shipping lanes in the Gulf of Mexico. This hexagonal fort was intended to accommodate 450 guns and act as both a deterrent to potential invaders and as a sanctuary for American ships under threat. However, building the fort proved to be a bit of a challenge due to its remote location and the logistical demands of transporting over 16 million bricks from the mainland. It was designed to be self-sufficient in a harsh tropical climate. It featured rainwater collection systems and storerooms for provisions. Although never fully completed, Fort Jefferson stands as one of the largest brick structures in the Western Hemisphere, with walls reaching 45 feet high and enclosing half a mile of perimeter. It's designed to include casemates, bastions, and moat to enhance its defense. During the American Civil War, the fort functioned as a Union military prison, but never engaged in combat. Advances in military technology and shifts in strategies rendered it obsolete by the late 19th century, but it did serve various military purposes until 1935, when it was designated a national monument by President Franklin Roosevelt. Number 12, Morad Janira in India. Morad Janira stands on an island as a formidable fortress, originally built in the late 15th century as a wooden structure by a local Maratha ruler. It was intended to protect against pirates. By the late 16th century, recognizing the site's strategic importance, Malik Ambar, the Abyssinian regent of the Sultanate, expanded and reinforced it using stone, transforming it into a key defensive stronghold. The fort with its oval shape rises 40 feet above sea level, and it's fortified with high walls and 19 rounded bastions equipped with cannons, many of which remain intact. Its isolated position in the Arabian Sea made it nearly impregnable, accessible only by boat, and its walls could withstand heavy artillery fire. One of the fort's ingenious features is its 3 massive entry gates. The main gate facing the shore remains concealed until one is closed, effectively preventing surprise attacks. A secondary hidden gate opens directly onto the sea, serving as a secret escape route if needed. Inside, remnants of palaces, barracks, mosques, and freshwater wells provide insights into the daily lives of the occupants and their readiness for prolonged self-sufficiency. Throughout history, Morad Janira has successfully repelled attacks from various powers, including the Portuguese, the British, and the Marathas, remaining unconquered. The Sidis, initially brought to India as mercenaries, effectively used the fort as the capital of their powerful independent state. Number 11. The Ankara Kalesi, Turkey. Ankara Kalesi, an ancient citadel located on a hill in Turkey's capital, Ankara, dates back to around 2,200 years. It was originally constructed by the Galatians, a Celtic tribe. This fortress has been extensively rebuilt and expanded over the centuries by various empires, including the Romans, Byzantines, Seljuks, and the Ottomans. It's strategically positioned with expansive views over the Ankara and the plains beyond. And it's been consistently a pivotal military site. It has 2 main sections, the İç Kale, inner castle, and the Dış Kale, the outer castle. The İç Kale is the older section, featuring remnants of ancient civilizations and towers that preserve the architectural style of the Roman and Byzantine periods. The Dış Kale, added later, spans a broader area and includes residential buildings, mosques, and other structures, illustrating the evolution of the fortress through time. The fortress's walls are notably thick, constructed from stone and materials repurposed from earlier structures, including Roman inscriptions and Byzantine reliefs. This mix of materials has made the citadel a fascinating archaeological site where different historical layers visibly converge. Among several large gates, the Hisar Gate stands out with its massive stone blocks. Now, beyond its military function, Ankara Kalesi has been central to urban life, especially during the Ottoman era when it transformed into a lively neighborhood bustling with markets, homes, and workshops. Many of these traditional structures remain, contributing to the unique character of the castle's narrow, winding streets, which contrast sharply with the modern city below. Number 10. Dover Castle in England. Dover Castle, known as the Key to England due to its strategic location, stands atop the White Cliffs of Dover in Kent, overlooking the English Channel. This site, one of the largest and most historically significant castles in England, has been utilized for defense since the Iron Age. The Romans were the first to develop this site significantly, constructing a lighthouse or pharos to guide their fleets across the channel, and remnants of which are still visible today. The castle's importance was recognized by William the Conqueror following the Norman conquest in the 11th century, leading to the construction of a motte and bailey type castle. About a century later, Henry II commissioned the transformation of this castle into a massive stone keep designed by Maurice the engineer. This structure is well known for its medieval military architecture, featuring walls up to 21 feet thick, capable of withstanding any siege weaponry of the time. Under Henry VIII, the castle underwent significant modernization to accommodate artillery, including the addition of the Tudor bulwark, an artillery fortification that enhanced its defenses. However, the castle's historical depth extends beyond its visible structures. Beneath the castle lies a vast network of tunnels dating back to the medieval period. These were expanded during the Napoleonic Wars to house troops and supplies, and played a crucial role during the Second World War as a military command center, crucial during the Dunkirk evacuation. The tunnels were further adapted during the Cold War to serve as a regional government headquarters in case of a nuclear attack. Today, as times have changed, Dover Castle serves as a popular tourist destination, offering visitors a chance to explore over 1,000 years of military history, with views stretching into the French coast on a clear day. Number 9. The Citadel of Aleppo in Syria. The Citadel of Aleppo, located in the city of Aleppo in Syria, ranks among the oldest and largest castles globally. Its origins stretch back to the 3rd millennium BC, more than 5,000 years ago, during the Amorite period. Archaeological findings indicate continuous occupation, with the site serving variously as a religious center, royal palace, and military stronghold. The initial fortifications are believed to have been constructed by the Hittites, who capitalized on the strategic hilltop location. Throughout the ages, the citadel was expanded and strengthened by successive rulers, including the Greeks, the Romans, Byzantines, and notably Islamic dynasties. The current structure primarily dates from the 12th and 13th centuries under the Zengid and Ayyubid dynasties. After Saladin captured Aleppo in 1183, his successors embarked on extensive reconstruction, converting it into a fortress. The citadel features towering stone walls, some rising more than 15 meters, equipped with numerous towers and bastions designed to deter invaders. Its entrance is especially notable, with a complex arrangement of zigzagging ramps and fortified gates intended to impede any assault. Inside the Citadel of Aleppo houses several historic buildings and ruins that highlight its significance. The Great Mosque, constructed in the early 13th century, exemplifies Islamic architectural trends of the era, with its minaret and expansive courtyard. Additionally, the throne hall, adorned with intricate decorations and a vaulted ceiling, reflects the Ayyubid and Mamluk artistic styles. The Citadel of Aleppo, it's withstood numerous battles and sieges throughout its history, from medieval crusader conflicts to modern warfare, symbolizing the enduring spirit of Aleppo itself. Despite its turbulent past, the citadel remains a potent symbol of the city's rich historical tapestry. Number 8. Hohensalzburg Fortress, Austria. Hohensalzburg Fortress, perched above Salzburg in Austria, has been a pivotal stronghold since its inception in 1077, commissioned by Archbishop Gebhard of Salzburg, amid conflicts over church appointments with the Holy Roman Emperor. Initially a basic wooden fortification, it was intended to assert the archbishop's authority and provide protection. Over the centuries, it evolved into an expansive stone fortress. The fortress underwent significant expansions, particularly in the late 15th century under Archbishop Leonard von Kuchach. This period saw the addition of outer walls, bastions, and the notable Rekturm and Krauturm towers, incorporating contemporary defensive strategies. Architecturally, it melds medieval, Gothic, and Renaissance elements, and it's evident in the stunning interior buildings. The Golden Hall, a lavish banquet hall adorned with woodwork and gold leaf, exemplifies the opulence of past residents. The princely chambers, featuring a bedchamber, audience hall, and chapel, are still furnished with original artifacts, giving us a glimpse into historical luxury. Strategically, it's located to oversee trade routes and provide defense. The fortress was heavily fortified during the 17th century amidst the 30 Years' War to prevent Salzburg from being captured. However, it never really faced a direct military assault. But today, Hohensalzburg Fortress is a major tourist destination, accessible by a funicular railway. It's got a museum in there that holds a collection of historical artifacts, including medieval weaponry, armor, and artworks, showcasing the fortress's historical readiness for potential threats. This rich heritage does make it a fascinating exploration site for visitors. Moving on to number 7, the Bourtange Fort in the Netherlands. The Bourtange Fort, located in the Groningen province of the Netherlands, was constructed in 1593 during the 80 Years' War as a strategic measure by William the Silent, Prince of Orange. He aimed to control the sole road between Germany and the Spanish-occupied city of Groningen. This fort is a quintessential example of a star fort or bastion fort, a design that gained popularity in Renaissance Europe. Its star-shaped layout with multiple outward projecting bastions allows defenders to provide mutual cover with crossfire, minimizing any blind spots. The fort's 5 bastions, named after saints, are linked by walls and encircled by wide, water-filled moats, forming a defensive structure. It was constructed with earthworks rather than stone. The walls were more effective at absorbing any artillery fire, and the moats were continuously supplied by a network of canals. Inside housed a small community comprised of both military personnel and civilians, complete with barracks, storerooms, and other necessary facilities. Over the years, it's endured numerous sieges and attacks, including during the Franco-Dutch War and the War of Spanish Succession. However, its military relevance waned with advances in military technology, leading to its decommissioning and subsequent transformation into a rural village by the early 19th century. Recognizing its history, the Dutch government initiated a restoration project in the 1960s to return the fort to its 1742 state. This restoration was conducted with great attention to detail, using historical documents and evidence to accurately recreate the original layout and structures. Today, it serves as a living museum where visitors can immerse themselves in the life of an 18th century fortress. It features cobbled streets, reconstructed buildings, and multiple museums that chronicle its storied past and the daily lives of its former inhabitants. Number 6. Caerphilly Castle, Wales. Caerphilly Castle, located in South Wales, stands as the largest castle in Wales and the second largest among the UK's over 4,000 castles. Constructed in the late 13th century by Gilbert de Clare, known as Gilbert the Red, the castle was designed to consolidate his control over the region and counter the threat from a Welsh prince. It was completed between 1268 and 1271. The castle's design introduced several innovative features that would influence the construction of future fortresses. A notable aspect is its extensive use of water defenses, including artificial lakes and moats that not only hindered attacks but also added to the site's aesthetic appeal during peacetime. The inner ward is fortified with high curtain walls, impressive gatehouses, and large round towers, showcasing its formidable defensive capability. The castle features a concentric layout with inner walls surrounded by multiple outer walls, offering layered protection. This design reflected a sophisticated understanding of military strategy at the time, and it was considered forward-thinking. Although now partially ruined, the central keep remains a prominent feature, providing views of the surrounding landscape, which would have served as an early warning system in medieval times. Caerphilly Castle quickly became a symbol of the Norman power in South Wales, serving as a royal and noble residence and withstanding numerous sieges. By the 15th century, however, advancements in weaponry and shifts in the political landscape led to its decline and disrepair. Restoration efforts didn't begin until the 18th and 19th centuries, spearheaded by the Marquess of Bute, who conducted extensive work to preserve and restore the castle. And thanks to those efforts, this castle is now celebrated as a crucial historical monument, attracting visitors who are eager to explore its rich history and its architecture. Number 5. Spiš Castle, Slovakia. Spiš Castle, located near Spišské Porady in eastern Slovakia, is one of the largest medieval castles in Central Europe, sprawling over 41,000 square meters. Construction began in the early 12th century, replacing an earlier wooden fort with a stone structure featuring Romanesque architecture, including strengthened walls and a square tower. Over the 13th and 14th centuries, the castle saw significant expansions and renovations, integrating Gothic elements like pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and decorative window tracery. The castle complex is divided into the upper, middle, and lower wards, with each serving distinct functions. The oldest part, the upper ward, contained the main living quarters, a chapel, and the Great Hall. The middle and lower wards were later additions designed to accommodate workshops, stables, and more living space. During the late Middle Ages, Spiš Castle emerged as a critical administrative and military hub, acting as the seat of the region's political and judicial authority. It played a pivotal role in tax collection and served as a refuge during military threats. The Renaissance period brought another wave of changes in the 16th century, introducing elements like decorative facades, spacious courtyards, and enhanced living quarters, blending these new features with the existing Gothic structure. However, the castle's prominence declined in the early 17th century as political and military power shifted away from the region. A severe fire in 1780 marked the start of a long decline, leading to the ruin of many structures, some of which were dismantled for materials. Restoration efforts in the 20th century, including archaeological excavations, have since transformed the castle into a significant historical and cultural landmark, preserving its rich heritage. Number 4. The Alamo, Texas. The Alamo, located in San Antonio, Texas, is perhaps the most iconic fortress in the Americas, with a profound role in the Texas Revolution. Originally founded as Mission San Antonio de Valero in 1718 by Spanish missionaries, its initial purpose was to convert Native Americans to Christianity and solidify Spanish presence in the region. Over time, its strategic location transformed it from a religious site to a key military asset, protecting Spanish colonial interests with a complex that included a church, living quarters, workshops, and defensive walls typical of a Spanish architecture. In 1793, the mission was secularized and repurposed by the Spanish military into barracks and storage facilities, setting the stage for its later military significance. After Mexico's independence from Spain in the early 19th century, the Alamo remained a military stronghold, with further enhancements made to the fortifications. By late 1835, Texan rebels had seized the Alamo from Mexican forces. Leadership under Colonel James C. Neal and William B. Travis oversaw significant fortifications, including reinforced walls, new palisades, and strategically placed cannons. Preparations for defense included earthworks and wooden structures, complementing the stone fortifications, with the mission's chapel becoming a critical stronghold due to its robust walls and limited access. The Battle of the Alamo started on February 23, 1836, testing the fortress's defenses for 13 days against larger Mexican forces. Despite being outnumbered and ultimately defeated, the Texan defenders utilized the Alamo's fortifications to maintain a strong resistance, weakening the Mexican forces' resolve. The fall of the Alamo on March 6th became a symbol of Texan resilience, inspiring the rallying cry, "Remember the Alamo." This spirit fueled the Texan victory at the Battle of San Jacinto, ultimately securing Texas's independence from Mexico. Today, the Alamo stands as an example of bravery and resistance, drawing visitors from around the world to remember its pivotal role in American history. Number 3. The Alcazar of Toledo in Spain. The Alcazar of Toledo, perched on the highest hill in Toledo, Spain, has a rich history dating back to the 3rd century, when the Romans established a fortification on the site. The location was chosen to oversee and protect the surrounding area, setting the stage for its evolution into a significant military and royal hub over the centuries. After the Roman Empire's decline, the Visigoths and later the Moors expanded the fortress, and its significance surged after the Christian reconquest of Toledo in 1085. Under King Alfonso VI, the fortress was transformed into a royal palace and military academy. In the 16th century, under Emperor Charles V, the Alcazar saw the additional enhancements including stunning facades, grand courtyards, and ornate halls, symbolizing their royal power. The architectural design here reflects its historical influences, now featuring a symmetrical rectangular layout with 4 corner towers. The southern facade exemplifies Renaissance architecture and houses a magnificent courtyard with a double arcade, a grand staircase, and elaborately decorated halls. Beyond the architectural interest here, the Alcazar has been central to numerous pivotal events in Spanish history, most notably during the Spanish Civil War. It was a stronghold of nationalist resistance. Despite a prolonged 70-day siege by loyalist forces, a small garrison of nationalist troops held firm until relief arrived. This event became a powerful propaganda tool for General Francisco Franco and his movement. Following the Civil War, extensive restoration work was undertaken to repair the damages sustained during the siege. But today it houses the Castilla-La Mancha Regional Library and the Army Museum. These institutions host a comprehensive collection of military artifacts, documents, and exhibits that chronicle Spain's rich military history. Number 2. Mangar Fort, India. The Mangar Fort, perched on a rocky hill 122 meters above Jodhpur in India, offers views of the surrounding landscape. Construction began in 1459 under Rao Jodha, the ruler of Mandor and the founder of Jodhpur. The fort was initially built to protect the region from invasions and to serve as the capital for the new kingdom. Over the centuries, successive rulers here added to the fort, creating a structure that now showcases a unique blend of architectural styles. It's renowned for its defenses too, featuring walls that reach up to 36 meters high and about 21 meters wide. Access to the interior is through 7 gates, each with its own story. The most notable gate is the Jaipur, or the Victory Gate, erected by Maharaja Man Singh in 1806 to celebrate his victories over the armies of Jaipur and Bikaner. Inside the fort, visitors can explore a series of palaces, courtyards, and temples, and noteworthy among these are the Moti Mahal, or Pearl Palace, adorned with intricate mirror work and colorful glass windows. The Phul Mahal, or Flower Palace, originally a private chamber for the Maharajas, decorated with gold filigree and elaborate paintings. And the Sheesh Mahal, or Mirror Palace, known for its exceptional mirror work and detailed decorations. Today, though, the fort operates as a living museum that offers a window into the region's past. Its extensive collection includes palanquins, royal cradles, musical instruments, costumes, and arms and armor. One of the highlights here is the collection of howdahs, the seats used for riding elephants, showcasing the grandeur of the Rajput royalty. This exhibit not only shows the opulence of the era, but also symbolizes the majestic approach one might have taken to enter the fort. Number 1. The Rock of Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar, a natural limestone formation, stands as a fortress due to its strategic location at the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea, controlling the narrow strait that separates Europe from Africa. This pivotal site was first fortified by the Moors in the early 8th century, during their invasion of the Iberian Peninsula, recognizing its crucial role in maritime navigation and trade. The name Gibraltar itself is derived from Jabal Tariq, named after the Moorish leader Tariq bin Ziyad. In 1309, Gibraltar was captured by Castilian forces, integrating it into the Kingdom of Castile. However, its fortification was significantly enhanced in the 18th century during the War of Spanish Succession, when an Anglo-Dutch fleet captured Gibraltar in 1704. And it's been under British control ever since, formalized by the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713. Under British rule, Gibraltar's natural advantages of steep cliffs and elevated positions were further exploited. The British constructed a network of tunnels within the rock known as the Great Siege Tunnels during the Great Siege of Gibraltar between 1779 and 83. These tunnels were strategically used to position cannons that could fire upon Spanish and French forces, attempting to recapture the territory while providing protection for the defenders. Throughout the 18th and 19th century, additional fortifications such as bastions, batteries, and walls were erected, turning it into one of the most formidable fortresses in Europe. During World War II, the importance of Gibraltar escalated as it served as a base for operations in the Med, acting as a staging ground for campaigns in North Africa and the invasion of Italy. The British expanded the tunnel network, creating an extensive underground city that could accommodate thousands of troops. Today, though, while its strategic military importance has waned, the Rock of Gibraltar continues to host a British military garrison. Its role has shifted, though, more towards a symbol of historical significance rather than an active defensive outpost. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.